Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel for this episode 6 of the Zero to Hero Challenge by Rusty Money Gaming here on Maizy Lou Farms. Well, it is mid-February and we have a bit of a situation we need to take care of here on the farm. But before we get into that, I'll give you a quick update. So if we look at the map, we are sitting at $333,728. That is up just a little bit from when we were together last because the contract I was waiting for, the $23,000 157 tree deadwood contract that I was originally going to use to load up the sawmill, it did come in and I was curious. I just had to do it, but I just let the logs fall on the ground. And let's just say this. I've done it once. I'm happy. My curiosity has been satisfied. I have no intentions of doing that again. But I would like to keep doing that $6,000 deadwood contract and skidding the trees to the sawmill because that worked out excellent. And I'd like to obviously buy the sawmill out. And I'd also like to get that skidder. And one correction there, I said it skidded 6 logs. That's what my memory said from FS25. Of course, anything I say based on my memory. Anybody who's been around my channel for a while knows you need to take that with a grain of salt because it's actually 8 logs that can skid with it. So, yeah, that made pretty short work of that contract. So that's the future plans, but we need to get some money built up here. And what will help with that is our situation. If we look over here, we really do need to take care of the products coming out of our greenhouse. They're sat here and we need to get them loaded up and sold. And it turns out it's a pretty good price right now for all of these. So I needed to come up with a plan to do that. And part of that plan was to strip off our low loader here of the spraying equipment and use this to deliver our goods along with a telehandler. But I could not get these ramps to move, these loading ramps. They're set for a sprayer width, so that's not going to work. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go in the store, and under low loaders we should have, yes, this one I put in. Now that should do the job for us, I think. The only thing I think we'll do, does it have chrome rims available? Yeah, it does. So we're going to put chrome rims on there. And you know what? We are just going to buy that outright. We have enough money from the products we're going to sell that we can buy this equipment we need outright, and then we won't add any to our monthly payments. Now, I would obviously like to have this Fendt, but really all we need is this Manitou for half the money, and it is a smaller unit, which really will work out better for what we're doing. So we are going to buy that. And the only thing we have to customize is the tires. I don't know. Guess it really doesn't matter. Nothing special there. Maybe we'll go with those. So we're going to buy that out. So that's 100 grand. But if my calculations are correct, we should have $100,000 worth of products to sell. So we'll be back where we're at, because that's important, because we've also got a construction project to do. So let me jump in the Kenworth here. Let's head to the shop and pick up our new gear. So I will meet you there. Well, there we go. Loaded up and strapped down. I did have to buy a set of forks. I forgot about that. But now the idea is that we can take the telehandler with the trailer wherever we need to go. We'll load product on the first part of the deck and leave room on the back part to take the telehandler with us so we can unload. That way we just need one piece of gear that we can use around the map. But I think we're going to start actually at the sawmill. We have the same situation there. So let's head there and we'll get some material loaded up there. We've got planks long and wood beams. And like I said last episode, we're going to bring those to the Granary Museum. They have a need for them, and that's where we'll sell them for now. And I'm kind of thinking that we may try and, you know, do that constructible, is my thinking. But right now it's the best price for wood, so we're going to load up everything that we've already have a saw on and sell it on there. Now, there's our road there. Anyways, I'll work my way through the bush here to the sawmill, and I will meet you there. And we'll do some loading. Catch up with you in a minute. Well, we are up here at the sawmill, and you can see we've got a lot of product down here to load. So much that I don't know if we'll actually get it all in one trip. Now, all of this is going to the same sell point, except for these palleted wood chips. And the sell point we have on the map will not accept wood chips in palleted form. So we'll have to bring a trailer up and load those in loose form to sell them. So for now, we're just going to set those aside and we'll deal with those later. Now, I have the truck set up over here. It's kind of the best spot I could find where we could load from both sides of the trailer. So we are going to have to, you know, move them a little bit with the telehandler here. But let's get it unstrapped. And we'll climb up and get in the telehandler. Let's get it fired up. Oh, and we better throw the beacon on. Otherwise I'll hear about it from Farmer Mike. And let's get it backed off the trailer here. Now, as much as I would have liked to have that Fendt telehandler, this really is a much better tool for the job we need to do. It takes up less space on the trailer, so that means we'll have more space to load whatever we happen to be hauling and still have room for the telehandler. And most of these places we need to load right now are fairly tight, and the smaller unit will actually be a benefit because it's more maneuverable. And, you know, it's got more than enough lifting power for what we need to do. Oh, I don't want to widen those forks out. So as long as we're moving product in this manner, I think this will stay. I don't think we'll be upgrading to the Fendt, unless maybe we put the Fendt one just on the farm. But that is, well, at least on that farm, one of the places that's really going to be tight to load. There's not much space between those greenhouses. Try and avoid that pole for you guys. Oh, shoot. Huh. I noticed that down at the shop, and I didn't think much of it. That door opens, that trap door opens when you put the ramps down. Now, what is the purpose of that? Let's climb up here and have a look. Oh, it's a storage bay for your chains and boomers and that. But as long as the ramps are down, that is open. That might be a bit of an issue unless there's no collision on it. Let's hope. Let's get kind of lined up here a little better. Because I definitely want to get the telehandler back on when I'm done. And I don't want to have to make two trips like to come back up and get it. I didn't get that on the forks particularly square, but square enough, I guess. Something like so. And Oh, maybe we can load without. No, it's got to go ahead a little bit. Actually, sorry guys, let me do a test here before we have a wreck. And make sure there's no collision on that. I think I just saw it when I backed up go through, but we'll double check. Yeah, so it'll close through whatever we load up here. Okay. Should be, well, maybe just back a little bit closer to the edge. There we go. Whoops. There, now that we got it in position, we will strap it down so it doesn't go anywhere. And Bob's your uncle, as they say. Let's just lift this up so we don't run into spear our truck on the way by. All right, well, I'm going to try something I haven't done before. I'm going to try and do this in cinematic. So we'll see how that goes. So sit back and enjoy the tunes. Well, I hope you enjoyed that cinematic. I think it might end up being just a little bit shorter than traditional ones, just because there wasn't a lot of variety of shots that I could take. But I did manage to get everything on here in one load, but you'll notice a bit of a different stacking pattern on the trailer. I know not very realistic, but I was wanted to get everything in one trip if I could, which we are able to do. And also part of it was too, I wanted to give a couple different shots for the cinematic. So, but the old Kenworth is coming up here, so let's jump in and let's head to the sell point, because this might be interesting because it's basically a sand trail leading to and from the sawmill, and even empty. You know, I really noticed it with the Kenworth coming down here. So we've got a pretty heavy load on, so I'm curious how it's going to handle it. So it's not a horsepower issue, it's a traction issue. When I tried to take as much of a run as I could, but you can see even this little hill here slowing us down. But once we get up to the crest of this small hill here, I think we're downhill the rest of the way, so we should be in pretty good shape. But it does make the old Kenworth grunt. Now, I am not going to slow down for this corner at all because I don't want to lose any momentum. Looks like I'm going to lose some anyway. Now we've got just a pretty much all downhill run to hard packed road, so we made it, but I don't know if we could haul too much more. If the load was very much more heavier, I don't think we'd get out of there. Now we scoot by one of the farms here that we eventually need to purchase. But that's a little ways away in our future. Oh, great. Yeah, I forgot we come out right at the base of this hill. Okay, anybody coming? Not that I can see. All right. So we're not going to slow down very much for this corner either. Not the done thing, I know, but we want to get some momentum for rolling up this hill. Get whatever we can. There is another way out from the sawmill, but it's even more sandy road. Ah, we made it okay. All right. Oh, shoot. I think the zone markers are on. I meant to shut them off. Oh, well. Sorry about that. Yeah, if we undo the straps. Oh, all one. So, there we go. Oh, shoot, I should have had the HUD on so we can see how much we got. I'll tell you what, let's go in and we'll just look at the map and see where it takes us money to. So 308,000. So we started at 333. So we're not quite back flush, but we're close. Gotta put the tension straps back on so our telehandler doesn't get lost. All right. Well, I'm going to head back to the farm and I am going to get our other mushrooms and garlic and that loaded up and sold. And then you know what? I might sleep until next month, actually. I think we'll do our construction project in March. So we'll see you then. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the farm. So we have moved into March. It is March 1st. Before I did that, though, I did sell off our mushrooms and our garlic, and that took our bank account up to 328,000. So we were just $5,000 shy of paying for the telehandler and the trailer with that round of sales. So I was pretty happy about that. Now, I did say we were going to do a construction project in March, and if we swing around here and have a look, see, you can see it's been done. Now, I had actually intended on putting this in on camera, but what I thought I'd do is do a trial run off camera, and I was so pleased with my trial run. uh, I honestly didn't think I could do any better and probably not as well, so I decided just to leave it. So, yeah, bit of a coward. But, anyways, as you can probably guess, it is a sheep pen. And if we go over here and look, triggers around here someplace. There it is. It holds 2,178 sheep we can have in there. So certainly more than enough to fill the 500 minimum that's required. And you can see after building that, we are down to $133,000. Now there was a little bit of lease payments that came out of there, but that primarily was just the cost of building the pen. And if we back out of here and go in this menu, you can see contracts have shown up again. So we have some hoeing contracts and a weeding contract, and there's uh, one more weeding one that we can actually grab and do. Oh, look at that. That big deadwood one, the $23,000 one with 157 trees showed up. But thanks, but no thanks. But we are going to deal with that next episode. I think that's where we'll start, is working on those contracts. For now, let's jump in the old Can-Am here and take a closer look at our pen. Get it fired up. Now, the original pen uh, just was up here on the plateau. I see I forgot, I meant to paint some of that grass out, but I'll get that later. But what I did is I brought it down and brought it much closer to the road to encompass this bank here. And then I did the same thing at the other end. Because when I seen this kind of rock bank, you know what it made me think of? Goats. Goats wanting to climb up and down on that bank. So that's what we're going to do, is we are going to fill this up with goats. Now, I don't know if we'll fill the pen to its maximum capacity, but we'll certainly go over the 500 mark, I think, because with the goats, we're going to make, or we get goat milk, and we're going to make goat cheese. So that's the plan for this farm. So that fence basically pretty much runs along our property line there. And so that was a little messing around to get that in. But it wasn't too bad. But like I said, I was so happy with the way it turned out. I didn't want to risk taking it out and doing a job that wasn't as good. A lesser job, maybe you might say. So I just left it. So we need to get some critters in there. I have rented a animal trailer. It's at the shop. That means we need to put the Kenworth back to work. So we will jump in there and head to the shop and get our first installment of goats. I see we have some rush hour traffic here this morning. Now the trailer that I rented holds 50 goats, I believe. Now it just depends how far our money will go, but I'm really hoping I can get at least 100 in. And of course, that'll mean we need to do something about feed for the goats. Although there is meadow grass available, so I think they're not going to starve initially, but we do need to get some grass cut for them. And I think it is just grass. Most other goat pens I've used, let's put it that way, just straight grass is fine. We don't need hay or anything. But that is something we'll leave for a next episode as well. There's our trailer sitting there waiting for us. Oh, I won't leave the signal light on anymore. Oh, not even close there, Farmer Murphy. Not even close. We'll probably hitch up there, though. That makes a pretty sharp-looking outfit. Okay, now we've got to make the long trek over to forward, if you don't mind, over to the animal dealer, I think, which is basically just behind. Actually, we won't cut through. I think there's a grass strip there where we parked our vehicle, but we won't cut through. We'll go the proper route here. Oh, you know what? I did not look to see where the trigger was. I wonder if we can make a guess, or I'll have to actually turn them on. Does that look like there? The trigger is still there. I'm pretty sure I haven't turned off. They weren't on in the pin. But yeah, well, that helps us. So we want sheep and goats, and we want goats. Well, let's see how much that costs. Oh, yeah, no problem. So we're going to grab 100 of these eventually. So let's buy that. And I get swung around here. Pretty tight, but I think I can make it. Back to the farm. There's that rush hour traffic again. They like to travel in packs on this map, I've noticed. And our farm is just down here on the left. Actually, I think we'll just go up and around the trees, and we'll be facing in the right direction. Be the easy way to do this. So we will keep adding goats to this pen over time. I might actually add in some young ones, another 50 adults, and then 50 younger ones potentially. I don't want to drain our money too far in case we need to rent some equipment or something like that. Let's take it. Move to the husbandry. Yes, please. Let's shut that down because it's a little noisy, and let's take a look. Now, if we look in there here, we have goats. Yeah, we do have meadow grass, 59,000. There's nothing showing up here yet, though. I don't know. I have never actually paid attention if that shows up there immediately. It should. I would have thought, but we'll give it a little time. And you can see it is just grass we need. All right. Well, I think I will leave you there, and I will leave you there for this episode. Might be just a tad shorter, but like I said, I want to take on those contracts and then make some kind of arrangements to get grass for our goats here. But off camera, in the meantime, I will get at least another 100, or sorry, another 50 matures to bring us to 100. And I think I will get us like 50, maybe even baby ones actually. But after that, I will meet you back here for the next episode and we'll pick it up right from this point here. So, if you're still with me, I really appreciate you watching. If you haven't already, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. And if you want to see when other content like this lands, hit that old notification bell. But for this episode here on Maizy Lou Farms, it's Farmer Murphy signing off.